All right, guys, welcome to episode number 2 of our Arts and Sciences community. Today we have Kristen Wright and Bethany Mattingly from our Urban Agri-Science programs, so they're here to answer a few questions for us. First off, what brought you guys to teaching ag in general and at Seneca specifically?
I think what brought me to teach ag is that I grew up with a farm background and had a passion and love for agriculture. And then when I got into high school and actually was in an agriculture classroom, it made me want to have the same influence that my agriculture teacher had upon me.
Awesome.
I grew up on a farm also, but then I went to New Albany High School, which is huge and very urban. And they ended up shutting down the agriculture program at New Albany, so I didn't really understand that at the time because I saw the value in it, and I knew not just me coming from a farm background could value and understand what happened in the agriculture classroom as something valuable. And a lot of my students, whenever I was going to school with them, they found it valuable too, even though they didn't come from an agriculture background like I did.
Very cool. I did not realize that. What information about your career pathway would be beneficial for other arts and science champions to know?
I think that we have two different pathways. So we have an animal science pathway and a plant science pathway. And then all of our scholars have to start out with the foundations class, which is Principles of Ag, and then they work their way up from that.
I think it's also beneficial to know that they're not just walking away with some cool classes by the time they're seniors. They also take the COSA exam, and if they pass that, then they get 3 hours of college credit for free. That's good for anywhere in Kentucky, but then you can also apply it outside of Kentucky, and it may or may not work there.
Okay, very good. Thank you. How can other arts and science champions best collaborate with you, and on what topics?
We teach a broad range of topics. And last year, for example, I worked with Ms. Watts, and we used a genetics unit to connect that into animal science, and then also what she was doing in biology. But we touched on math, science, and English. So I mean, we could cross over to almost any topic and relate what we're teaching to what another champion is teaching.
Awesome.
So like math formulas for us are going to relate into like fertilizer, how much you should apply, and then like dosages for animals for like medicine, and then like for artistic stuff, the landscaping class, and then also the floral design class. We use all the principles of art, and we teach them all in class along with color theory and everything like that. So it's pretty easy for us to collaborate with other people because we end up doing so many different things, whether it's English, math, science, or anything in between.
Okay, awesome. And finally, what motivates you to come to school every day and teach ag to our scholars?
I think that it's really enjoyable, especially for the scholars that we have, because most of them have no prior background knowledge of agriculture, and to really develop and see that passion. And we get to see them grow, not only because we get to work with them for 4 years, but also in the course of one class, from the beginning to the end, we really get to see them grow and change and develop into a leader from that.
I would agree with Ms. Wright, but then I also say coming from a school that ended up shutting down agriculture because they didn't think it related to students, I like being able to see students relate to agriculture in ways that they didn't know that they were going to relate to it. But then also I see the value of the teacher and like what they do to make sure that the program stays there. And that motivates me to come every single day and make sure I'm doing my best so that we can keep it here and keep it viable for students.
Awesome. And just so you guys know, this program was almost out the door. We were fortunate enough to get Miss Wright, and she rebuilt the program and was able to actually add a staff member for Ms. Mattingly. So these kids have absolutely loved the program. I know this question wasn't in the interview questions that I posed to you guys, but tell us a little bit about how you have created a community feel and a family feel to this program.
I think to a lot of the kids, we're kind of like their parents, because we work with them so much and we see them so much, and them coming to our classroom is really important for us, and you know, we take pride and value in being able to bring them and feel like, you know, they have a home away from home. Most of them will tell you if they could be down here all day, they would be in one of the ag classrooms for the majority of the day.
Yeah,
because they
we
enjoy
hear
it.
that a lot, actually. So, okay, thank you guys. That's a wrap for episode 2. Thank you.